Can't get me out of the race. I got tired to see me face. Can't get me out of the race.
Are you ready for Bob Marley and the Wailers?
Released in theaters worldwide on Valentine's Day, February 14th, the Bob Marley biopic, One Love, has generated conversations amongst critics and even industry contemporaries, with opinions varying from the movie being great to it needing a remake. But instead of paraphrasing, let's hear some of what they have been saying.
This is my message to you.
This Bob Marley film straddles the line between it's okay and a below average biopic. I don't know what's happening nowadays, but these films are getting a bit too paint by numbers, a bit too formulaic. This movie has its own issues. It struggles and it hits the same kind of beats that you normally expect, especially the sainthood of a figure. I'm not here to claim Bob Marley was a bad person, but this movie very much paints him in the most positive, warm light. And I'm like, there's more intricacies to his life. I would have loved to explain, his relationship with multiple women. He has 11 kids. Tell me more about this man than just the surface level Wikipedia entries. And that's where I'm just like, none of these movies are doing it. And again, it's so paint by numbers. You've seen one, you've almost seen this all. Is this a moment where he's getting ready for a big concert and that kind of causes him to pause and reflect on his life, so then we kind of jump around in time? Yeah, that's exactly this. This movie never really hits the second gear. I will say that's kind of a problem I have with the main performance as well. This movie has some issues that really do weigh it down. Overall though, it's not bad. That's the problem. This movie should be better than what it is, but I've also seen this movie multiple times. I mean, Rocket Man, Judy, Bohemian Rhapsody. There's just a couple of them recently, especially. I mean, the Whitney Houston movie. We'll have it. The Amy Winehouse movie later this year. We've seen this. So when you're just kind of doing the average stuff, reading off the Wikipedia page almost, it doesn't allow me to be fully engaged. There's like an attempted murder the first 15 minutes of this movie, and I'm like, oh. And then we never really hit another height. And again, that is definitely something maybe with the character and with our lead performance that I'll touch on in a moment. But overall, I'm just kind of stuck on these movies. What can we do with the musician film about their life? What is the avenue? Where do we take this? Did I maybe want a stoner comedy of Bob Marley running into a person and telling his life story in a maybe hijinks-filled movie? That sounds crazy, but also it sounds different. You can still get the same message across. I can learn some things. This movie struggles, we'll talk about it in the next part, with being educational over entertaining, but I could have really got the entertainment value out of this more. But this feels like a documentary, and I love documentaries, but I would prefer to watch one at this point. I feel like these movies are just kind of run their course, and Bob Marley, unfortunately, the One Love film, suffers from just too much of too average.
Ziggy Marley, I don't know where you and Bob have. I don't know where you, your father, and your brother them have. What kind of movie that, my brother? The movie take 30 minutes for do this worst emergency interview. Ziggy, you will answer to these charges. I promise you. You know, it's when the privy court done, Ziggy. I promise you, the Jamaican government is going to take it to court for this fuckery you just put out.
Yes, greetings. We want to talk about Bob Marley, One Love. We're not going to give a critique of the movie. We're just going to talk about the relationship between what transpired in the movie and the audience that was present there. I was one of those who was invited because of my cameo presentation in the movie. No. You know, I sitting at the movie, I sitting at the theater, and I talk to my wife and I say, well, this is something else, see? Imagine when you look on the crowd outside and the people them who is outside, including the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the opposition leader, and two of the royal family of England. Not to mention all the people them who I know say is years and them a picnic them not go to Carib. Because most of them would have never find themselves below Crossroad. This is a Rasta man who's projected and portrayed in a movie. With all the bad word them, according to them, all the ganja smoking them, and all the drumming of the Rasta man them in the movie. This movie was able to draw everybody.
Man, it's good to be here on the red carpet, you know. Great cause as well. Bob Marley, One Love premiere movie, so it's fantastic. And it's good to share the red carpet with so many stars as well. Big shout out to Rowan Marley, thanks for the invitation, and shout out to all the Marleys as well. Congratulations, Julian Marley and the Grammys. Universe Boss here just representing. It's one love, it's the same culture. As a Jamaican to another Jamaican, we know what Bob has done, for the country, for the world. It's a great inspiration to each and every one, and I'm glad to be here to actually, witness the movie tonight and, get a bit more insight on, Bob Marley life as well.
So, gentlemen, what did you think of the Bob Marley movie?
Well, fully educational. It was exciting. It was dynamic. It was truthful. It had the message in it, and it really opened up a lot of avenues that I think a lot of people never know about. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was just a bomb from start to finish. That's basically it. That's what I say. I couldn't take my eye off it. For real.
Yeah, for me, basically, and that's and everything what Daniel just said. It was a great experience to be here at this launch, at this premiere. It's a good vibe being here. And my takeaway from the movie is that Rita is really the hero. Yeah, she keep the whole thing together. Yeah. She have the focus. She never lose the vision. She keep him on track. Yeah. She introduced him to the lifestyle. So much things where you never know. She had the first one get shot. So much things where we never know. We're put into perspective now for sure. Say, she are really the backbone behind the whole movement. Him do the work, take nothing from him. Yeah. And the movie is all about him. And we are celebrate. But behind everything, you have that force, that she was that force.
We're speaking to Gloria Estefan.
Hello.
And of course, Emilia Estefan.
Yes.
The genius of Miami Sound Machine.
Ooh.
What does Bob Marley mean to you guys as musicians and great musicians at that?
Bob Marley made reggae worldwide. There were other artists, but Bob Marley, his image, he's a good-looking dude. His music was, he knows, he would agree. And his music was timeless, and he had a great message in his songs. He was an important artist, and he was phenomenal. We lost him too young, but he left a legacy, an amazing song legacy that whenever you put it on in any decade, it's timeless. It doesn't,
Welcome to That Guy Talks Movies. I am that guy talking movies, and on this episode, I want to talk about the Bob Marley biopic, One Love, Bob Marley, One Love. When you have such an iconic, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, for God's sakes, this is not somebody who you just get a random director. Now, Reinaldo Marcus Green, who did King Richard and some other stuff, I'm sorry, this guy was nowhere near should have been in the line to be directing a film about Bob Marley. I will say it again, as I said before. You start at the top, the creme de la creme. That's where you start when you're talking about doing a film about Bob Marley. I'm sorry, man. Story and script were flat here. You did not get enough essence about the man himself, right? You didn't get enough about Rastafari, like his life, his religion, his beliefs, his sensitivity, his love, his passion, the relationship between him and Rita. You did not really get that. You got flashing moments of it on screen. They kind of just put it all together in between, pasted in between the music performances and the numbers that you're going to kind of like relate to. But you didn't get enough of the man. You didn't get a sense of this guy changed the world. This guy's inspiration is still felt to this day. This guy's music is still felt to this day. This man's presence, a picture of Bob Marley, for a lot of people, is like seeing a picture of Jesus Christ for Catholics and Christians. I'm sorry. He has that impact when you see him on film, you see his videos. This was not that. This didn't capture all that. This was a really good actor. Again, Kingsley Ben-Adir, no issue with him. All right, no issue with him. But this was an actor filling the shoes and doing the mime of the mimicking of a legend, and it just didn't work.
Bob Marley One Love is in theaters now, so good news, those of you who bought tickets to see Madam Web. At least there will be great music bleeding in from the walls of the theater next door. Says Kingsley Ben-Adir embodies Bob Marley while also coming off as a character and not a caricature, which is difficult when you're playing somebody who's as well known as he is. The only time that the immersion was really broken, when I felt like I was watching an actor and not Bob Marley on screen, were during a few of the concert scenes when they did a full dub-in of Bob Marley's singing voice. Kingsley Ben-Adir did a lot of the singing, but reportedly Marley's voice was dubbed in for the larger concert scenes, and that's where I kind of felt like I was watching an imitation of the man and not an embodiment of the man. Lashana Lynch's Rita is also great in what we see of her. I wish the movie had been more focused and allowed for a deeper look at her relationship with Bob, which was obviously very loving, but somewhat complicated. The movie begins to explore those complications, but then sort of shies away to go into the third act. We also get into an embezzlement storyline and some of the business dealings that Bob Marley had with his long-term manager, Don, but those are also kind of left hanging, and that's where I think the story could have used a little bit more focus, and also, as I mentioned earlier, where I think the edges may have been sanded off a little. Yes, I know that you want to focus on the greatness and the legacy, but I think that you can also showcase some of the pitfalls and the problems without sacrificing the other positive things about Bob Marley's life.
Well, you heard it yourself. The international critics have spoken, but what does the Jamaican viewing public have to say about the movie?
Bob Marley One Love, it was such an excellent movie.
It's not about even the movie, talking about the love of the movie. We need it now in 2024. Because right now, Bob Marley, I sure said from them time until now, I love that. That's why I name One Love and a Two Love it name.
The movie was great. I thought it was really great to see a side of Bob Marley that I didn't know about.
It's so much more than what we know or heard about Bob Marley.
I thought about black people who just live in one love and unity.
They really captured the essence of the Jamaican culture and really got to look into Bob Marley's life and the legacy that he has left.
I got a lot about his history and enjoyed some good music.
It was, for me, the untold story.
For me, I'm younger. I've been to Bob Marley Museum like 3 times and I've heard all about his life, and seeing it was something really different. Very, very, very cool. But I also cried in it because like when he gets shot, it really brought me to tears.
And it was very emotional.
It was truly beautiful, I think. It was very good. I enjoyed it. One love.
Bob Marley, I'm my star. Bob Marley born the 6th of February and I'm on the 8th. I love him so much, World Without End. My star, Bob Marley. One love.
I'm just going in with pure joy and love. Expecting the best, expecting to get a story that's interesting. One love.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, walk good.
Mood.